Okay, so hey guys, today we'll be talking about Python history. It's important to talk about Python history. What you're learning, you should know how it's made, how was it made, and what were the things that involved in such a beautiful and creative invention of computer science. So, Python is now one of the most popular programming languages in 2021. Python is a high-level, interpretive, general-purpose dynamic programming language with a strong emphasis on code readability. In comparison to Java or C++, the programming languages you learn in your college or in your beginner levels, Python's syntax allows programmers to code in fewer steps because of its numerous programming paradigms. Python is commonly employed in larger enterprise. In most cases, imperative and object-oriented functional programming is used. It comes with a vast and comprehensive standard library as well as automatic memory management and various features. Let's now delve a little more into the history and development of Python programming language. When discussing the history of Python, it's impossible to overlook the influence of the ABC programming language, which influenced the design and development of Python. Van Rossum worked as an implementer of the ABC Python programming language at CWI, Centrum voor Wiskunde en Informatica, in the early 1980s. Later, when working on a new distributed operating system called Amoeba at CWI in the late 1980s, don't confuse, Amoeba is not about biological things right now, but it's about AMOEBA. Search it on Google. Van Rossum began exploring a scripting language with a syntax similar to ABC, but with access to the Amoeba system calls. As a result, Van Rossum set out to create a new simple scripting language that could overcome ABC's limitations. Van Rossum began working on the new script in the late 1980s, and the first version of the programming language was released in 1991. Modular 3 is the module system used in the initial release. Python was the name given to its programming language later on. So the thing you're using was not originally called Python, it was called as Modular 3 in its module system. So what is the significance of the name Python? Rossum, a Python developer, wanted his new languages to be short, original and mysterious. Python was actually inspired by Monty Python's Flying Circus, a BBC comedy show. It's not a comedy language, but the name was preferred by a comedy show series. So, first version Python 1, functions, exceptional handling, the fundamental data types, and classes with inheritance were all available in Python code, labeled version 0.9.0, which was released in February 1991. Most of the people would not be born then. I was not born then. A modular system was also included in this release, which was based on Modular 3, lambda, reduce function, map function, filter function, key arguments, functional programming tools, and built-in support for complex numbers were added to Python in the early 1990s. During this time, Van Rossum launched a project called Computer Programming for Everybody, CP4E. The fundamental goal of CP4E was to make programming more accessible to the general public while also emphasizing the importance of coding skills. Python played a key part in this because of its emphasis on clean syntax and accessibility. Although CP4E is no longer active, learning Python is still simple, and I guess most of new programmers prefer it. I won't. Future. Python does not appear to be going away anytime soon. It's advancing daily and is getting implemented into the systems day by day. You won't be getting anything without Python. You have a laptop, the components may be programmed by Python. You have a phone, the components may be programmed by Python. You have a fan, you have a AC, the AI, the IoT, the ML, the DS. Most of them have implementations of Python, which may be unbelievable to recognize, but they are there. I mean, they are not recognized by general public, but by someone known. So, what's the future? Python does not appear to going away anytime soon, and this award is given to the language. Python was named TIOB's Programming Language of the Year. This award is given to the language that has the greatest increase in popularity over the course of year because it enables functional programming, object-oriented programming, and parallel programming paradigms. Python has become an highly adaptable alternative. So, what caused its slow growth and what happened? In 1994, Guido was invited to the USA by NIST, the US National Institute for Standards and Technology. NIST was interested in using Python for several standards related projects and needed somebody to boost their Python skills. I mean, at that time, YouTube tutorials and nothing was available. YouTube was not even invented at that time. So, needed the original developer of the language to boost the skills. Obviously, the creator of the language was a great choice. With NIST support, Guido was able to run workshops and participate in conferences, spreading Python and attracting key contributors that would later be very important for the future of the language. This resulted in a job offer to Guido by CNRI, a non-profit research lab. This position helped Guido create a team of Python enthusiasts and have support for releasing Python versions 1.3, 1.6, and building infrastructures like Python's website and mailing list. The language was shaping up nicely with a clear set of principles and priorities. A good example of Python's principle is the Zen of Python, a set of aphorisms from the software engineer Tom Peters in 20 lines, such as "Beautiful is better than ugly." Zen contains the core philosophy of Python. In 1996, the language was already used to build products like Microsoft Merchant Server, a part of Windows NT. Python 2.0, released in October 2000, introduced list comprehensions, a commonly used Python feature that was then present in functional programming languages like Haskell. It also added other features such as Unicode support and a full garbage collector. All in all, Python was building toward its future as a reliable language with a comfortable development experience. Moving on to Python 3.0, starting from 2000, core developers started thinking about Python 3.0. They wanted to streamline the language, cutting unnecessary language constructs and functions that Python had occurred in its almost 20 years of existence. As the Zen of Python says, there should be one, and preferably only one, obvious way to do it. This efforts resulted in Python 3.0, a backward incompatible version of the Python language that was released in December 2008. Unfortunately, the release brought some complications. Developers had realized how much Python was used and how much of the Python code out in the wild depended on other Python libraries. Therefore, while it was easy to move one scripts to Python 3, it was much harder to move programs that relies on third-party libraries since they didn't upgrade that fast. This led to a switch that was rather clunky and painful for some, but greatly improved the language. Python 2 was finally retired in 2020 recently. So, while Python was steadily growing basically its whole existence from around 2020, it started the growth trajectory that soon available enabled it to rival other top programming languages such as Java and JavaScript. At one point of time in 2017, it even became the top programming language above Java and JavaScript and Sharp C. With the growth of fields like mechanical and machine learning, big data, and most importantly, the increase in the number of developers out there, Python is a popular choice for the first programming language. Python's popularity skyrocketed. In particular, Python's machine learning journey reached an inflection point at around September 2016. According to Google Trends, this is a year after the release of TensorFlow, Google's ML library based on deep learning and mirrors a similar rise in the global interest in machine learning. The Python boomed. So, where is it used? What are the couple of areas where Python is strong at right now? So, start number one, web development. With frameworks like Django and Flask, it's a great option for quick and simple web development. A back-end web development, of course, it won't do a front end. Machine learning. Python has the best support for ML across all programming languages because of the heavyweight libraries like TensorFlow and Keras. Furthermore, Python's easy syntax and simplicity makes it the programming language of choice for ML expert and data scientists. Data science, of course. Python has wonderful tools for data analysis and visualizations, making it a reasonable choice at any point in a data pipeline. You can't talk data science without Python. Python is necessary at the basic and at the beginner level of data science, which we'll be learning soon. One of the best things about Python is that it enables specialists in other domains to quickly start programming. Its popularity is continually growing, and that is because it is versatile and widely available, applicable to all the fields that are just getting now boosted with automation, machine learning, and big data. For these reasons, it is nearly the most popular programming language in the world. PYPL ranks Python as the most searched programming language, counting searches for programming language tutorials. Meanwhile, it's second place in RedMonk rankings and fourth in Stack Overflow most popular technology list. Its biggest competitor being JavaScript. Being at the top, it still shows one of the largest increases in user count. With all that in mind, it seems that Python will continue to be a solid choice for a programming language, especially in the areas mentioned above. If you're planning to learn Python or use it in your project, history will not prove you wrong. Have a good day. So hey guys, good day. In the previous course or in the previous video, we learned about the focus of the course, that is problem solving, why we chose Python, Python basic 0 to hero, Python libraries and the data science project. Today we learn why Python is necessary and why Python was made, why Python was found and why Python is the best thing you could learn. So, why Python? Python because it's beginner friendly, versatile, and easy to learn. It's flexible, it has a machine learning support, and mature packages and libraries. Python was basically made by a person. So, Python language is incredibly easy to use and learn for new beginners and newcomers. The Python language is one of the most accessible programming languages available because it has simplified syntax and not complicated, which gives more emphasis on natural languages. Due to its ease of learning and usage, Python codes can be written easily and executed much faster than our computer programming languages. When Guido van Rossum was creating Python in 1980s, he made sure to design it to be a general purpose language. One of the main reasons for the popularity of Python would be its simplicity in its syntax so that it could be easily read and understood even by an amateur developers. Python was created more than 30 years ago, which is a lot of time for any community of programming language to grow and mature adequately to support developers ranging from beginner to expert levels. There are plenty of documentation guides and video tutorials for Python language available that a learner and developer of any skill level or ages can use and receive the support required to enhance their knowledge in Python programming language. Many students get introduced to computer science only through Python language, which is the same language used for in-depth research projects. The community always guides learners who learn data science which will be our main focus of the project. If any programming language lacks developer support or documentation, then they don't grow much. But Python has no such of problems because it has been in the computer journey for a very long time. The Python developer community is one of the most incredibly active programming language communities. The support from renowned corporate sponsors. The support from renowned corporate sponsors grows faster when a programming language is vastly available to the majority of people. Python programming language is heavily backed by Facebook, Amazon Web Services, and especially Google. Google adopted Python language way back in 2006 and have used it for many applications and platforms since then. Lots of institutional effort and money have been devoted to the training and success of the Python language by Google. Now, what are the major packages and libraries we were talking about? There are many frameworks and libraries available for Python language, such as Matplotlib for plotting charts and graphs, SciPy for engineering applications, science and mathematics, Beautiful Soup for HTML parsing and XML, NumPy for scientific computing, Django for server-side web development. Due to its corporate sponsorship and big supportive community of Python, Python has excellent libraries, such as the one which I told about. You can use them to select and save your time and effort on the initial cycle of development. There are lots of cloud media services that offer cross platform support through library like tools, which can be extremely beneficial. Libraries with special focus are also available, like NLTK for natural language processing or Scikit-learn for machine learning applications. What about the versatility and efficiency, reliability, and speed? Ask any Python developer, and they will wholeheartedly agree that Python language is efficient, reliable, and much faster than most modern languages. Python can be used in nearly any kind of environment, and one will not face any kind of performance loss issue irrespective of the platform one is working. One more best thing about versatility of Python language is that it can be used in many varieties of environments such as mobile applications, desktop applications, web development, hardware programming, and much more. The versatility of Python makes it more attractive to use due to its high number of applications. Now, Python is also famous for big data, machine learning, and computer cloud computing. These are big words that you must be hearing, right? These are the programs or things that daily power your applications. The AC that is turned on, the CCTV, the fan, the lights, all are related to Internet of Things. And those Internet of Things only rely on the thing big data, which is only made by Python courses. Cloud computing, machine learning, and big data are some of the hottest trends in the computer science world right now, which helps a lot of organizations to transform and improve their processes and workflows. Python language is the second most popular used tool after R language for data science and analytics. Lots of many data processing workloads in the organization are powered by Python language only. Python language is the second most popular used tool after R language for data science and analytics. Lots of many data processing workloads in the organization are powered by Python language only. Most of the research and development takes place in Python language due to its applications, including ease of analyzing and organizing the usable data. Not only this, but hundreds of Python libraries are being used in thousands of machine learning projects every day, such as TensorFlow for neural networks and OpenCV for computer language. Python language is, after all, the first choice for many programmers and students due to the main reason of Python being in high demand in the development market. Python is undoubtedly the hottest cake in the market right now. Many programmers and data science students are using Python language for their development projects. Learning Python is one of the most important section in data science certification course. In this way, the Python language can provide plenty and not if not so many but plenty of fantastic career opportunities for students. Due to the variety of applications of Python, one can pursue different career options and will not remain stuck to one. The flexibility of Python language. The Python language is so flexible that it gives the developer the chance to try something new. The person who is an expert in Python language is not just limited to build similar kind of things, but also go on to try to make something different than before. Python doesn't restrict developers from developing any sort of application. This kind of freedom and flexibility by just learning one language is not available in other programming languages. Use of Python in academics. Now, Python language is being treated as a core programming language in schools and colleges due to its countless uses in artificial intelligence, deep learning, data science, etc. It has now become a fundamental part of the development world that schools and colleges cannot afford to teach Python language. In this way, it is increasing more Python developers and programmers and thus further expanding its growth and popularity. Python language can help a lot in automation of tasks as there are a lot of tools and modules available which make things much more comfortable. It is incredible to know that one can reach an advanced level of automation easily by just using necessary Python codes. Python is the best performance booster in the automation of software testing also. One will be amazed at how much less time and few number of lines are required to write codes for automation tools. So, here were some reasons why Python is growing at a supersonic speed. We hope that this article or our knowledge on the article has shed some light, good light on Python language and its importance. So, if anyone asks you why Python programming, you now have an essay to tell them. So, after hearing a big, long, and tiring lecture, we will be studying. We will, in particular course, we are really going to teach Python, and we are not assuming that you have any programming experience before. So, and this is one plus of Python. I mean, whether you are an engineer, you're coming from health science, you're coming from biology, you're coming from arts, humanities, or from wherever, Python is something that is very easy to get hands on. So, if you're not assuming that you have any programming background, you have any data science background, nothing, so we will start from zero and then we will gradually move to 100, a hero. So, and including the introduction to data science packages. So, Python is best. It is default. If you are going to work in data science, Python is the default, and we are going to introduce you Python from the very beginning to the very professional level. So hope to see you in this course.